Greetings folks, welcome back to the Craft Hammer. I'm your host Stefan, and in today's video, it's been a while, but we're gonna try and do a hobby kind of update. I believe I used to call them the Hobby Vox. Not quite sure, but the title will probably have it there to kind of copy what I used to do. Now, if you've been keeping up with the channel, make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Only like a few weeks ago, maybe two, I restarted my hobby after kind of a long break, and I wanted to start with the tournament scene, kind of join it and have a goal for what I'm doing here. And as part of that, my first army that I did was the Custodes. I got them from storage, finished off the jet bike and the Telemon so that I can start playing the tournaments. And overall, it was a nice hobby boost, kind of motivation to do that. Afterwards, I had in mind that I was going to do the same thing, but for my Chaos Knight army. So here's what I got for the 1000 point tournaments that happen at my local game store. We have 5 knights, which 5 models does not sound very much for a normal army, but as you can see, they are quite big. And there is a lot to paint. And what I put on myself from the first videos is that whatever tournament I go to, I want to make sure that my army is fully painted. I want to give myself the kind of satisfaction, and I also want that my opponent, is looking across the board and sees a cool army fully painted up against them. This is the list that I came up with. Go quickly, let me make sure. We have 2 stalkers. I believe this is with the chain cannon. This is with the demon breath spear, so the multi-meltdown. Then we have a brigand here. This is the brigand. Demon spear, chain cannon. We got an executioner, 2 auto cannons, and the reason why I started a Chaos Knight army in the first place, as you might actually be able to see, I believe these 2 are the original Knight models before Chaos got its own dedicated packs. And originally I got the ones with the autocannon and also the ones with the chainsword and multi-meltdown. Mostly that I was going to add to my Space Marine army in a kind of thematic way. They would be painted to join that force, just as like knights that were there because they had a duty to the chapter. When the Chaos Knights got released, the Abominant, when I saw that first trailer with the Imperial Knight who was going out to war, and then you see him chained up on the little shield there, that was just, it gripped me. And then seeing the actual Abominant Knight was just amazing. And I really liked the fact that it had psychic powers, so the Knight Abominant isn't just a war machine, it is also infused with the warp and is able to kind of, unleash a few trickeries here and there. So it kind of reminded me of the Psi Titan, which is also like a really cool concept, and I just wanted a small form for it. So because I really like the Knight Abominant, it just has to go in my force. It looks great. I really want to field it and actually test it out. As you can see, there is a lot to paint, and that's kind of a big worry for me, as I'm not sure within the time that I have if I'm actually able to make it. I will show you this carapace piece here. Hopefully the light will give it a bit of detail. Unfortunately, I've kind of given myself an extra added complexity to the overall paint scheme when I did those little, I don't even know what to say, little kind of lightning warp flickering around the top carapace. And to be honest, I feel like I need to continue it on the shoulder pads and down the armor. And truth be told, I don't particularly remember how I actually darkened that blue, because it is the same blue that we see on the small war dogs, which is, I believe, a Prussian blue from Vallejo, which, now that I look at it, I might need a second coat. I think this is only the first coat on these ones. And we still have all the armor pieces that need to be painted, which is, I believe, a brass color that I have from Liquitex. So it's not even that normal paint, it is that ink that I actually used it to stain a lot of the metallic parts. I just wanted to, I know normally knights go more towards Lead Belcher or like Iron Warriors color for the actual legs and mechanical bits underneath. I just kind of wanted to flip that around, that the mechanical bits underneath look more brass and copper look in a sense, and then things on the outside will be Lead Belcher, etc. Now, although the Abominant has that warp flickering on it, and I suspect I should try and do it on the rest of his armor panels, I don't think I'm going to do that for the War Dogs. First of all, I just don't think I have enough time, like the short amount that I have, to get ready for the next 1000 point tournament. Instead, even going in the future, even if I wasn't doing the tournament, I think maybe if I wasn't doing the tournament, actually maybe I would continue on, but it's just such a slow process. And now I kind of remembered that I was scoring first whatever I did to darken up the blue, then I did another, I think it was Altdorf blue, and then some sort of really light blue there to make them final scoring mark. So I had to do it twice in a sense. What I think I'm going to do is give these guys their second coat of Prussian blue. Then I'm going to get a blue shade. I believe I have Talisador or something from the Citadel range, and I'll give them a wash. Then I will get all these spikes painted up somewhat similar. These ones aren't even finished actually, I need to brighten them up. Do the chains, the guns. I'm gonna try and mix in a bit of Lead Belcher, and then some parts might be a bit Retributor Gold, just to kind of make them stand out. I still have the actual shoulder pads for each one of them, that they don't even have this Prussian blue primed on them, and all their armor pieces. So two things are, well, something's gonna happen. Either magically I'll be able to get this done, and we'll see, maybe I'll prioritize the top and the guns first, just so that the big colors are kind of put down, and maybe I'll make it for the October thing or the October tournament. Otherwise I will have to get another Custodes Army, make another list for 1000 points, and run that in October while continuing to paint this in the background for another month. And then we have another 1000 point tournament in November. Don't know how we're gonna do it. To a certain degree, I want to focus on the small knights because the big knight already has quite a bit of paint on him. And yes, I can do the finishing touches on him. Glue down the carapace on the top. The exhaust ports, which are, I don't even know where they are. I think I have a little small pile of them on the painting block. But I think I need to focus on the War Dogs to get extra colors there. I can already see that the arms underneath for all the War Dogs don't have the Liquitex paint that's supposed to be there to match the overall bronze aesthetic. So that's going to be something I need to do soon enough. And hopefully I get this done for October. I worry that I don't, but November, and yeah, we'll have a good time. There's no enhancements on this. It's literally 1000 points. I know the Brigands are very popular and really have a lot of firepower, so it makes a lot of sense to have more of them. And of course the Desecrator, I believe, the one with the macro laser or whatever it's called. They're very popular for shooting terms, or if we're going on to melee, it would be Carnivores, and I think it's the Warbringer that has the claw and the chainsword. Correct me if I'm wrong, write in the comments down below. I just don't have the list with me right now to double check who's who. But because the Abominant is the lowest points for the big knights, and it's also my favorite looking one, I wanted to put him in the list, and I suspect he'll probably be the main target for my opponents. They won't realize that the War Dogs will probably be bigger threats, especially when I combine, let's say, the shooting of the Brigand, soften up a few targets, and then come in with the Executioner to do the executioning and finish them off. And of course the Stalkers themselves will be going probably around the flanks, since that's where they're going to be best suited to try and get them up the board, get them into melee. The big knight will be in the front, and the Stalkers have their special rule that if I'm targeting a unit from my opponent that is 6 inches away from their normal army, I believe they get some sort of bonus, either an increased hit roll or armor penetration. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to check the rules. I'm sure I'll be able to figure out on the day. But yeah, that's the general gist. Big knight in the middle, Stalkers on the side, and then the Brigand and the Executioner on my home objectives, or roughly on the home. Probably the Executioner will be staying on the home objective. Brigand will kind of be slightly behind the Abominant to give him some firepower. And yeah, let's see if I can get this done. If not, as I said, we will be going for another Custodes armies, and then we definitely want to push this for November. And for December, I have no clue what exactly. To be honest, I don't even know what I'll be doing for November. If I manage to actually paint these up, I'm not sure what I'll be doing for November. If they play well, maybe I'll do them again, the Chaos Knights, or I'll do the Custodes. Maybe comment down below. I could of course try a Space Marine army. I'll need to double check what exactly I have. Not quite the optimum things in my collection for those, so yeah, let's get on painting, and I'll make sure to do another video the week before the actual tournament where I'll show you again the list and what my plans are. So let's get to it, and I'll see you next time, folks. Take care.